Hi guys, welcome to the first day of design and modeling, which starts our quarter two. I'm going to go through a basic introduction to let you know what we are going to be covering this quarter, a little bit about myself, and then expectations for the class, as well as grading policy. So best way to contact me is definitely going to be through email or Easttime. You can, as we get later in the quarter, if you feel like you're behind on one of your projects, you can use Easttime to come down and get a little extra work in. If there's labs before that you have questions on, again, you can email or just ask your Easttime teacher to come down and see me. I have 12 years of teaching experience. This is year 13 for me. My license is kind of a combination of items. I have taught middle school and high school math before. I've taught middle school and high school science, specifically physics and chemistry. I am elementary licensed to teach general elementary classrooms. However, I have not taught a general elementary classroom before. And then I went back to Purdue to get my Project Lead the Way certifications. So when you see PLTW, that stands for Project Lead the Way. They have many classes available at the middle school level. We have 3 of them. In 6th grade, you're doing engineering. In 7th grade, you're doing robotics. And then in 8th grade, it's a medical biology class. So this year you guys are going to get some engineering intro, and I had to go back and do the certifications again at Purdue for those. I am the 7th grade head volleyball coach here. This past season was year 16 for me. I have one son. His name is Stone. You can see his picture there with me on the side. He is in 2nd grade this year. Here are some basic expectations for what I expect to see in the classroom daily. Your Bluetooth should be on at all times. This is how you're able to have your personal space, and I'm able to monitor iPad screens. Water bottles are totally fine, but when we go to the computers to work, I will still ask that you leave your water bottles on the black lab tables, just so we can keep that type of an accidental spill on the other side of the room, away from our electronics. This is a lab classroom, so there's no food, candy, that does include gum, so none of that should be happening here in the classroom. Each day when you guys are coming in, I expect that you have your iPad with you. If your iPad doesn't have a charge at the end of the day, you should be bringing your charger with you. This will be really important as we start to work in Autodesk, which is our engineering software, because a lot of my videos are YouTube videos that are going to be viewed on your iPad while you're working on the computer screen. So it is really important. There's plenty of locations in my room to plug your iPad in, so bring your charger with you. I will not provide a charger for a student to use. If your iPad is dead, then it is an expectation that you have something to write with, and you also have a book with you. So those are 2 non-negotiables. If your iPad is dead and you don't have a charger and a friend does not have a charger for you to borrow, then I do expect you to have a writing utensil and a book from the library or personal book, something that you could be doing. In my classroom, there will be time that we are allowed to listen to music while you're working. However, it is a privilege. So do not put your earbuds or headphones in without permission. This does include working on an assignment. So if you're working on an assignment for another class after you finish my work, and it has a video, you need to make sure you check in so that I know what you are using your earbuds for. Phones are fine being in the room, but they should be face down on the tables. That does even include texting a parent. If it is an emergency, the parent should be notifying the office, and then they would call you out of class. There are always exceptions. A practice gets canceled at the end of the day and you need to get a hold of someone at home. You just let me know. That's one of those you have to check in with me or the adult in the room to get the permission to use your cell phone. Last expectation is don't pack up early. The bell at the end of the class period is for the teacher to be able to dismiss you. Sometimes we'll get an email about a late bus or we need to hold students, and that's something that you won't know until it's closer to the end. And I want to make sure that you are waiting for my dismissal. So that means that 99.9% of the time I'm going to send you right at the bell. And typically I'll tell you, bye guys, or have a great day, but just wait for that cue from me or from the adult in the room to let you know that it's okay to leave. Grading policy for my class, your grade is going to be weighted. 75% of your grade will come from the projects and labs that we are doing right here inside the classroom. The other 25% are going to be bell works or reflections, questions about what we've been doing, or questions at the beginning to see how much you know about a certain topic. PowerSchool codes you should be familiar with at this point, but in case you're not, if you see an LS in PowerSchool, that means that maybe you didn't finish the assignment and you earned less than a 50%. It does put the grade at a 50%, but the LS code lets you know that it was a low score. NHI means not handed in. That is also a 50% score, but it means that you obviously didn't turn the assignment in. Now, everyone always asks, can you turn in late work? Yes. You can turn in late work. That is always something that you can do. There will be this policy though. Any late assignments will receive a 10% deduction. So if you score an 85% on something you turn in, but it was turned in 7 days late, then I will take 10% off, and the grade that goes in PowerSchool will be a 75% instead of the 85%. If you were out sick for 3 days, you'll get 3 days to make up the work. And then that late policy kicks in after your 3rd day that you've been back. Same thing applies for an appointment. If you're gone for a dentist appointment, you would have the next day to make the assignment up, but we will be getting started on something new the next day. So you'll have to figure out how to get that extra stuff done. And that's where notifying me with email is always going to be good, or coming down during East time the day after you miss so that we can get you caught back up. All right. So we have some basic units that we're going to be covering. Our beginning, we're going to look at what engineering is. We're going to look at what STEM is, and then we're also going to look at the design process. The design process is very similar to the scientific method, but it's specifically geared for engineers and creating something. We'll take a look at how Disney uses the design process and uses a software that's similar to Autodesk to engineer some of the rides within their theme parks. We will do a small lab on measurement using a dial caliper. This is the instrument you see on the bottom of the screen. It is more precise than a ruler. We actually can measure 3 places to the right of the decimal. And it is typically what an engineer is going to be using for our very small measurements. Again, we're definitely going to focus in hard on the design process, making sure that you're following through each step. You will have a lab that we take an entire week for, where you're designing a piece of furniture, and we break it down with each step of the design process. Designing for production is our last half of the course, so about 4 to 5 weeks of this new 9 weeks. And when we're designing for production, that means we're actually creating something in our CAD software. CAD software is our computer automated design software, and ours is Autodesk. There's lots of different CAD softwares that can be used. Our Autodesk that we use is a very quality program, lots of options, and it's actually a program that is used by real engineers out in the workforce. Here are some example projects from years past. Many of the different kind of slightly blurry pictures are what it looks like in Autodesk. You can see in the top right the Alabama logo that he created in Autodesk. And then each student will be allowed to print one of their projects this year. So I will print one project per student, and you can see his printed project at the bottom. The 3D printer only prints in one solid color. There are others that print in 2, but our printer that we have here will only be printing in one solid color. Here's some more examples, more recent examples of different projects. Okay, now we're going to take a look at what is in Canvas. So when you log into Canvas, you're going to see my welcome screen each time. I update this weekly, so on Sundays is when I will typically change this page over to the next one. If you look for today, we've done my introduction about myself. We've done an introduction about what the class is going to be like. I've gone through my classroom expectations. So now we're on to this fourth item, the grading policy. So this is just going to be a page that you need to have someone at home sign, and you need to sign as well. It goes over the grading, how our grade is weighted at 75% for labs and projects and 25% for your bell works and reflection. So you'll download this document here, and once you do, today, you can go ahead and sign this. We've already talked through this. You're going to print your name, either with type or just printing. Then you're going to sign your name below. Then you need someone at home to sign it. So this is the only little bit of homework you're going to have for the evening, having someone at home read through this on how your grade is going to be composed for this class. Once you're done, submit this assignment in submit this assignment in Canvas, and you'll see the grade post in PowerSchool and Canvas at a later date. Okay. After you've done your name signature on there, obviously we're going to need someone at home to sign, so we don't want to submit that yet. Okay. But I do want you to kind of explore Canvas, go through and look. If you go to assignments, you can look at all of the different bell works and reflections we're going to do for the quarter, and then all of the different labs that we're going to cover as well. And once we start here with 1.4 save and upload, all of these projects from that point down are all in the engineering software. So it gives you an idea of what types of items you're going to be creating in Autodesk. So you can start to kind of think ahead about what you might want to do for one of those projects. After you've explored Canvas a little bit, you could move on, if you choose to the student information survey. Do not move on to the self-infographic. I want to be able to talk with you about that tomorrow when I return. When you click on this Google link, if it tells you you do not have access, you might want to check and see that you're not logged in with a personal Google account. Okay. Here's what is on here. It's going to ask you for your first and last name. This is what I would see in PowerSchool. The next question lets me know what you go by. So this is what you want to be addressed as in the classroom. So if you go by a middle name or a shortened version of your first name, your last name is hyphenated, but you go by part of it, that's what I want to know here in this next question. If there's no change to your name from above, you'll just simply retype your name. Parents and guardians, you can let me know as much there as you choose to. Mom, dad, stepmom, grandma, uncle, whoever you're living at home with, that lets me know who I might need to contact. Okay. I want to know something you're looking forward to most about this Project Lead the Way class. So what are you looking forward to about being able to learn a little bit about engineering and work in our engineering software? Brothers and sisters, do you have any? How old are they? What are their names? If you're not 100% sure on the age, put an approximate age. It lets me know if they're older or younger than you. If you don't have any, you'll simply type that. I have none, 0, something to that effect. Activities you're involved in. Check any of them that you're involved in. If I don't have something on that list, click Other, and you can type what that activity is you're involved in. Tell me something to get to know you a little bit better. What's something that is kind of a fun fact about you or something that sets you apart from your peers? Want to know what subject you're strongest on here at school? And then the next one, what is something that could make my class difficult for you? So let me know what that could be. Maybe you have a best friend in the room that you're seeing now. Maybe you're not as good with technology. Maybe your fine motor skills are a little bit weak and you're worried about that as far as composing something on the computer. It could be anything there. Describe for me the way you learn best. So do you learn best by seeing an example? So that's a visual. Do you learn best by hearing the instructions? That's an auditory. Or do you learn best just by jumping in there hands-on? Do you have any allergies, both food and other things? It's good to know because obviously this classroom is used for labs for other subjects, so I want to know that ahead of time. How you prefer to work lets me know how to kind of set stuff up ahead of time. And then just some fun stuff, your favorite color, your favorite food. Next two questions first is an overall goal for the school year. So this could be an academic goal, it could be a social goal, a personal goal, and it doesn't have to apply to this class. So I want to know something that you want to get done this year. And then next one after that, tell me how you're going to get to that goal. How are you going to meet that goal? Last two questions are specific to this class. So I want to know what your goal is for my class. Is there something specific you want to be able to make? Is there a specific piece of knowledge that you want to make sure that you get before you leave this class? And then again, how do you plan on achieving this goal? Make sure to hit submit once you are done with this. After you finish my work, if you've got everything done on the list for today, Monday, on that home screen, then you can read or work on other things for another class. Music is not permitted. We're only day one of quarter two. And that same thing goes for just random YouTube videos or games. Find something academic to be working on to fill your time until the bell rings and the adult in the room dismisses you. Have a great day, guys, and I look forward to meeting you tomorrow.